Welcome back to my channel, Beautiful Minutia. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and today I have a little book haul to share with you. So I went with my book club to McKay's, which is my favorite used bookstore. There used to be one in Knoxville, Tennessee, which was the closest location to us, and that one unfortunately closed. But there's still one in Nashville, so it's a further haul for us, but we still went. We made the trek. This is like our annual trip that we take together every summer, and it is just so much fun. All of us had lots of books to turn in. All of us ended up with a ton of store credit, and so that ended up being such a wonderful thing. It was really fun. We always on the way home share like what each person got, and so it's always fun to see the haul of what everyone chose to get. So I have a little stack here. I think it's 11 books, so it's not a huge amount, especially considering that I brought 2 big bags there. And I didn't even use all of my store credit. I did use most of it because I bought my daughter a couple of K-pop albums, and so those ones, that was like more expensive than the books that I have here. So I did pretty well, I think, in terms of that. I'm trying not to bring in as many books, but considering how many books I got out, I feel like it's a really good trade here. I'm still coming back with way less books than what I went with, and the books that I have here are ones I'm really interested in reading, as opposed to the ones I got rid of that I either read and didn't like or realized I'm not going to read. I think most of the things that I got are classics, except for a couple of books that I have here. I got a ton of Marilynne Robinson books. I think it's all of the Gilead books, because there's Jack and Gilead and Lila and Home. I know it starts with Gilead. I think Home is the final one. I don't know what order Lila and Jack go in, but I'm pretty sure that these are all part of the Gilead series. These are more recent. They were published after the year 2000. So yeah, so I was really happy. This is the most expensive one, but again, I had store credit, so I didn't pay for it. The other ones were only, like $3 or something like that. I was hoping I could find ones that they were all like the same edition and match, but I think that these ones are probably the same edition. The other ones are not, but they are still like all the same size. So they'll still, like be the same height on my shelf. Like I said, everything else that I have here is classics. So I do have a range of classics. Some of these are more modern classics. Some of them are ancient classics. I do have a couple of short story collections. One of them is Shirley Jackson's The Lottery and Other Stories. The only short story I have read by Shirley Jackson is, in fact, The Lottery, and I've always wanted to read more. I've also read We Have Always Lived in the Castle. Is that the right title? I can't remember now. My brain's totally blanking. But I own that book and have read it. But I have not read any more of her short stories and really wanted to. So I was really excited about that. Along with, I got the complete stories of Flannery O'Connor. And I do own most of her short stories, because I own Good Man Is Hard to Find, that entire collection, and then also the entire collection of Everything That Rises Must Converge, which was actually published posthumously. But there are some in here that I know are not anywhere else, like that they were individually published and never included as part of a bind up. I know the Geranium's one of them. I think there's quite a few like in the beginning here that I think actually are ones that were not included in the bind ups that I have. So every time I have seen this at McKay's, it has been $10 or more. So I was really excited to see it for $6. I was like, because every time I'm like, oh, is it worth that for just a couple short stories that I don't have the $10? But I'm like, $6 is worth it. And then I didn't pay for it anyway, so it totally worked out. I think this also has quite a few short stories in it. So I bought it because I really want to read The Metamorphosis. And I've wanted to read Kafka for a really long time and have never gotten around to it. But it says it's The Metamorphosis in the Penal Colony and Other Stories, with 2 new stories. And when I look at the table of contents, there's like the early stories, there's contemplations, and a lot of these stories are just a couple of pages long. We've got The Judgment, The Stoker, The Metamorphosis in the Penal Colony, A Country Doctor, and then a whole bunch more short stories. So I didn't know that he wrote so many short stories. I know of like The Metamorphosis and The Trial, and I knew he had written other things, but I didn't know that he wrote so many short stories. I also have a couple of ancient play collections here that I'm really excited about. So I have, I think this is the Theban plays. I think that's how you say it. Sophocles. I have Antigone, and I actually bought it last year, but I don't have the other two plays, Oedipus the King and Electra. I don't have that. And I don't have Antigone in a nice like Oxford World Classic edition that would have all the notes in the back. So this felt totally worth it for 75 cents. And then I didn't have any of Euripides' plays. So this has Medea and other plays. I actually don't know what the other plays are. I didn't even look. Alcestis or Alcestis, the children of Heracles and Hippolytus are the other ones that are in here. So really excited about this. Haven't ever read any ancient plays at all, but I have quite a few friends that are more recently getting into ancient literature and like really enjoying it, and so it's giving me the itch to try it out. And I have just a couple of other books here. I have The Sorrows of Young Werther by Goethe, and I still haven't read Faust, but I do have it. But I haven't read it, but I don't have The Sorrows of Young Werther. Unfortunately, I know the ending of this because I read a book that was about jumping into books. I think it was actually called The Book Jumper. And I read it with Charlene for her like Distant Lands book club and like hosted a discussion with her, which was really, really fun. But it spoiled the ending of this. It spoiled the ending of Anna Karenina, which thankfully I had read Anna Karenina, so I didn't get spoiled for that one. But I know what happens at the end of this. But I really want to give it a try. I didn't realize it was quite as tiny as it was because my edition of Faust is much larger. So I don't know. But yeah, I definitely want to give this one a try. And lastly, I have The Custom of the Country by Edith Wharton. So I'm building up quite a Wharton collection, even though there's still so many that I haven't read. As to date, I have only read The Age of Innocence, Ethan Frome, and The Touchstone, which was actually her debut novella. And so those are the only ones I've read, but this one was 25 cents. And I think Penny read this semi-recently, as in like this year at some point, and I'm pretty sure she enjoyed it, if I'm remembering correctly. And if she didn't, and I don't enjoy it, it was only 25 cents, so I'm not too worried about it. But I love Edith Wharton's writing, and now that I've become accustomed to the fact that most of the time I'm not really going to be rooting for most of the characters because they're making reprehensible choices, and a lot of times the characters are not overly likable. Once I realized that I could get past that, I really love the deep psychological studies that she does. Plus her writing is just absolutely beautiful. So I definitely want to read more Edith Wharton in the future. Anyways, that was a pretty short little book haul. Like I said, just 11 books and a whole bunch of them. Most of them are classics except for the little stack of Marilyn Robinson books there. But yeah, it was a fun time to be able to browse the shelves and pick up some new books that I'm really excited to read. I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below if you have read any of these books. I would love to hear your thoughts on them. And if you have picked up any books recently that you were really excited about, I would love to hear about that too. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like and also subscribe so you can continue to see more bookish content from me, and I will see you again next time.